What is the worst advice you've ever received? You should act less smart, so more guys talk to you. Just ignore the bully. He'll get bored. I wish my parents told me, fuck that kid up. You're 16. Slap on the wrist. When my mom was dying in hospice, a coworker of mine told me I should at least let her family know, even though my mom told me she didn't care if they knew or not. Well, I let them know, and I definitely regretted it. The sister and her kids made it an entire dramatic ordeal, and had to be removed from the room. Her brother didn't even call or text, just sent his dingbat wife who didn't even notice my mom had already passed. Haven't heard from either of them in the year since she's passed. My mom was right. Work through the pain, it will make your back feel better. It didn't. My ex-coworker advised me to have a baby because I was suffering so badly from my depression. She said this would cure my bad mood. Ignore your bullies and they will ignore you. They, in fact, did not ignore me. Come on, stop complaining and swallow it. No mom, I'm allergic to fucking soy. If I swallow it I'll probably die. When I was an aspiring educator, I received a lot of scary advice about how school teachers should run a classroom from people who were well intended, but were completely out of touch. The most memorable was from a woman who had been a special education teacher for years, and her nugget of wisdom was to never say sorry to a student and never admit you're wrong. My philosophy as a teacher could never be more opposite. No need to go to the doctor, it's just a little rash. It was Lyme's, and I nearly died. Edit. It was the urgent care nurse who said this. I believed it, my mom didn't. The next place sent me to the hospital. My father once told me, when I was in my teens, don't ever try anything new, because you might fail. That's like the opposite of what good parents are supposed to say. He had recently went out and tried a career change and failed. Kick it to see if there are any more bees inside. There were plenty of bees still inside. If somebody's mean to you, it's because they like you. Can people please stop telling kids this? I used to believe it too. Yeah, maybe sometimes it's true, but most of the time it's not. Especially above the age of 7 lol. In 1984 I was told by a friend's mom that computers were a fad and that I shouldn't major in computer science in college. I ignored that advice. It was obvious even then this was a crazy take. Edit. This asterisk was asterisk literally 1984. Van Halen wasn't really my scene though. I was more into new wave music at the time. You should let it pinch you. It won't hurt that much. It was the biggest crawdad I ever saw, and I was maybe like 10 fishing with my dad. He didn't think I would be stupid enough to do it, but I wanted to impress him. The chaos that then ensued, I picked it up and let it pinch the soft skin between my thumb and hand, promptly scream in pain. Dad, laughing his ass off, tried to help, just to be pinched by the other claw on the back of his hand. This cycle of continuous pinching continues as we stupidity try to help one another, then finally we get it removed, and my dad says to body slam it, so I throw it as hard as I can back into the lake. Live above your means. It motivates you to do better. No. I was 19, thinking about maybe going to college or getting a job in finance. My friend's mum said no, don't do that. You know where the real money is? Shops. Working in shops. Former mother-in-law, if you love him harder he won't hit you. Go on and get married. What's the worst thing that can happen? You are overreacting. They will change. Try to think of happier things when you hallucinate. Yeah, let me just think of a unicorn. I can totally control schizophrenia. That'll help me not see the blurry faceless man following me in the hallway. Maybe I won't be so paranoid. That how that works, right? Happy away the illness. I scraped someone's truck in our apartment complex a few weeks after I first got my license at 18. In my defense, he was very over the lines, and it was the only available spot. Called my dad in a panic. because I didn't know what to do. He told me to go park in the lot of the apartments next to us and just pretend nothing happened unless someone confronts me. New and inexperienced, I listened. Horrible advice. Someone saw it, and the guy found which apartment I was in. He was pissed, but more understanding, when he realized I was just a kid. To a guy in his 40s, I guess 18 is a kid, and explained what happened. We worked insurance stuff out, and I learned to never take my dad's advice. Edit. I should mention that I'm not considering 18 to be fully matured. I'm currently 24 and 18-year-olds definitely seem younger than they did when I was 18. I guess I consider kids to be more like people I wouldn't trust to leave home alone. That said, they are just as stupid as kids sometimes, like when they hit a truck and then take their dad's advice to do nothing and hope I don't get in trouble. Don't break up with him. You're perfect together. Spoiler alert, we weren't. My ex's mum told me to stand under a tree if there was a thunderstorm. Nice try, Linda. Nice try. Be more careful this time. When I was pregnant after a miscarriage. Artistic_source. So you're feeling lost in life. Have a baby. On leaving a 40 hours a week consultancy job with 21 days annual leave to go to a 37 hours a week client side job with 28 days holiday and with a pay rise. The boss said to me, "You don't make your career on your days off." To right, mate, but what I will do is look after my young family and mental well-being. Check out Reddit. What you don't know won't hurt you. I didn't want kids either until I got accidentally pregnant and then suddenly felt all maternal. Implying I should just give it a go. Went to the GP with my 10mo son who had been struggling with a cold for a while and wasn't improving. She told me to rub Vicks on his throat because it is absorbed through the skin and to make him vomit to bring up phlegm. Later that day he was admitted to hospital with bronchiolitis. I refused to see her for any reason until recently, when I didn't have a choice, and she gave me the same shitty advice for a sinus infection I'd had for 3 weeks. Stay happy while I was in depression. Don't move abroad, you'll hate living in Germany then. Once I was already in Germany. Don't move to Bavaria, you will not like south of Germany etc. Anyways, they were wrong. Glad I didn't follow their advice. Don't say anything to him. You don't want to start a fight/upset him. Thanks mom. Glad I finally said something to that loser. Edit. I have no clue how these awards work or how to say thank you, but thank you. I hope everybody speaks up in their relationships and advocates for their own happiness. After my wife passed, a man told me that divorce is worse. Relationship advice from my mum. She's manipulating you. My hella drunk mum to me about my wife in front of my wife. Spoiler, she isn't. Spoiler 2, mum didn't remember saying it. When I have a problem with someone, my wife just tells me to shoot them and be done with it. If only. Any dating advice from serial daters. Serial daters always seem to think they have the best advice due to their extensive experience, when in reality, unless your goal is also to serially date and never actually find a LTR, they only have a lot of experience because they continue to fail over and over again. There are always other who has it worse than you. Yes, Sherlock, but that doesn't make the thing that suck magically go away. Be the bigger person, bitch. I'm 11 getting bullied by a teacher because I have anxiety. Tell that to her, not me. Edit. Thank you for all the advice, but I'm no longer 11 lol, so this teacher is just a shitty memory. I'm so sorry for all of you who have been in a similar position. It really sucks. My cousin told me when I was young to just barely meet anyone's expectations for anything, and then they won't expect anything from you, and you can just coast. Don't join that karate school, because all the kids who were there longer than you will always be better than you, so there's no point in trying. It turned out that I was the only one that actually stayed. I'm probably better at it than all of them now, and even became an assistant teacher before I was 25.